Welcome into K-State Online. I am Mason Voth. That is Drew Galloway. If you are watching this sometime, I don't know, before the end of April, this means that this was the recruit that I referred to in our Friday NFL draft show. It's because K-State has added DJ Ackerson, their third commitment of, we think, unless something crazy happened, he's not the third, but we think their third commitment as we record this at this time. He becomes the third member of the 2026 recruiting class, a linebacker playing out of Putnam City High School down in Oklahoma. He was a three-star prospect, had offers from a number of Power Four schools, but his top three came down to K-State, Oklahoma State, and Tulsa. And throughout this entire process, I think those three have kind of been significant in the way that you view a player like this. So before we even get into the player himself, Drew, you alluded to the fact that he was still going to take his Tulsa visit prior to his commitment, and they are a true third team in this. I think there's an affinity from him there for Tulsa, and I think the fact that he still wanted to go through with a visit to a place like Tulsa, even despite probably already lining up, hey, I think I'm going to go be a Wildcat. I think that says a lot about the type of person that DJ Ackerson is, and I know that to some people, that stuff's not important. Just need you to be good at football. I get it. But I also know to a lot of people that stuff is still really important. And I think it's important to point out that DJ Ackerson seems to already have a lot of the right makeup, and you know a lot more about that from talking to him.
Yeah, it's something that's just kind of rare as we kind of dive into this of like guys still wanting to take official or not even an official visit, but just going to and taking an unofficial visit to a group of five school that has shown him a lot of love and a lot of appreciation for him since he's been offered. If you really look and zone all the way in, this was a recruitment that was done very close to home. DJ Ackerson has Power Four offers from Maryland, has an offer from Pittsburgh, and I think maybe Boston College was even involved at one point. But really, if you narrow down the schools that he was looking at, it was K-State, Tulsa, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. Oklahoma drops off after he visited Oklahoma in the spring, and this kind of also just shows the kind of person that K-State is getting, not just a football player. DJ Ackerson was well aware that he probably wasn't as high as other linebackers on Oklahoma's recruiting board, knew that, actually told that to the Oklahoma on 3 staff of like, hey, like, I don't think that this is going to work out because I think that we're both kind of on opposite wavelengths, which is very impressive for somebody that's not even 18 years old to kind of have that self-awareness to say, okay, like it didn't really seem like they wanted me, so I'm going to kind of focus on other schools. And then you dive in some more after his K-State and Oklahoma State visit. Like the one thing that really stuck with me about why I thought that K-State was going to land him was that he said that at K-State, for the 2 days that he was there, he was a high priority. All the coaching staff really made an effort to talk with him, to see him, to kind of just see how he was feeling on his visit. And then at Oklahoma State, he pointed out that, yeah, like I was there for a spring game. So like it was pretty different than what K-State had, which was just a practice. But like at K-State, he was able to talk with a lot more people than he was at Oklahoma State. So then you kind of see that, and that's why I was like, okay, maybe K-State is going to end up being the winner. And then you dive in even more, and you kind of see the difference between like and I hate doing this because it's all social media, and you never really truly know, but what he posted post K-State visit to post Oklahoma State visit was extremely different. And the wording was just it made it seem a lot more like he liked the K-State visit. And then I think that he liked Tulsa, but I think that the real winner here was to be able to stay pretty close to home, because it's not like War Acres, Oklahoma is like super far from Manhattan, and also be able to play Power Four football is what ends up winning this out. And the relationship that K-State had with Ackerson, because his recruitment really took off in January, and now we're here at the end of April where he's announcing his commitment. So I think that really shows how much effort that K-State really put in, especially once they offered him. Because I think that K-State went to his high school 2 or 3 times in January, and then he took the spring official or unofficial visit, and then it was scheduled to take a summer official visit, which will likely still be happening, but he'll be just doing it as a committed prospect now.
Yeah. I think I said linebacker earlier. He's a corner. I don't know why I
No,
said
no,
that.
no. Linebacker's good.
Okay, linebacker's okay. I was getting confused there. But yes. Well, I think what the issue is that I know what it is now. I had to change it in the On3 database
Yeah,
for what he was, and then in certain spots it's not showing up right. Which, by the way, if you go to his On3 profile, it is a little bit wonky. Not in terms of any, like, nothing is false there. If it shows perfectly, it's in some other areas it didn't work. I think the way it was supposed to. But yes, a linebacker for DJ Ackerson. Then now, in terms of what K State's getting, obviously at one point he was thought to be a corner. So what's the development look like for Ackerson, and what is the role that he will play at K State?
yeah. At one point, he was thought to be a corner, which shows number one that he has a lot of speed. And I think that's something that you really see on his junior tape, is that he really flies around at the ball and is all over the place and is a good tackler, has good fundamentals on that standpoint. But because of that, like, you're probably looking at probably more of a Sam linebacker spot for him, because that's kind of the hybrid between the safety and the linebacker. He would kind of be like what K State wanted to do with Michael Boganowski, if you remember that, where he could have played a little bit of linebacker, could play a little bit of safety. But I think that linebacker is his true home. And if you really dive into this even more on the K-State side, the priority over last offseason was to get more speed at linebacker. They did a good job of that. Now you add DJ Ackerson, and you add a lot more speed at linebacker too. So I think that he really fits what they want to do because of that, and he brings a lot more speed to the table than they had in the last few years at linebacker. Because I think that they've realized that they really needed a lot more guys that could really run at that spot.
With the way that you might look at this recruitment and how it ends up going in favor of K State, we know K State and Oklahoma State go head to head quite a bit for guys, but this is another Oklahoma prospect that K State's brought in. There's just been a lot of them coming through lately, especially now with both of the Wells brothers being on staff. What is the status of how K State's recruiting in Oklahoma goes, and what role did those guys play in this recruitment?
And both of those guys played a pretty big role. I think that it was actually Matt Wells who was the first one to visit DJ Ackerson before Steve Stannard did, just because Matt Wells has so much ties to the state of Oklahoma, and went to his high school and saw him. And then I think it was when Steve Stannard went to his high school that he ended up getting the offer from K-State. So the recruiting in Oklahoma is getting a lot stronger. I mean, we talked about the Wells brothers. Brian LePack also has a lot of ties to the state of
Yeah.
Oklahoma. So you're going to see a little bit more Oklahoma, and especially in this class, because we've talked about how in-state hasn't gone K-State's way a lot. We still expect them to get a couple more guys from the state of Kansas, but you got to fill it out from somewhere else. And it seems like the kind of growing trajectory of where it's going to go is it's going to be either Oklahoma, Texas, or Missouri. Because if you look at the K-State official visits they have scheduled right now, it's a lot of Texas, it's a lot of Oklahoma, it's a few Kansas, and it's a few Missouri.
3 stars right now. We're in terms of the movement that might be done for a player like this. I don't know if another star would be in order, but do you think this is a guy that will move up over the course of the next year in the rankings in terms of where he stands in the state of Oklahoma or nationally amongst linebackers?
Yeah, I would be surprised if he keeps going in the state of Oklahoma, because what is interesting about his ranking, if you want to really look at that, it's 84.95 as we're recording this on April 23rd.
Yeah.
So we're doing a lot of time traveling this week. But if you look at where he's ranked right now, it's 84.95. What's interesting about that is that's because ESPN and 247 haven't given him a ranking yet, but On3 and Rivals have him like right on the edge of being a 4-star. So he could be pretty close to a 4-star when it's all said and done. I'm not sure if he gets there all the way in the On3 industry ranking, but he's going to be very close from what we've seen from the first two evaluations of him, because those are the first two evaluations, and the only two evaluations he's ever had was when Rivals did their re-rank. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. He got to that 5.7 ranking, and then On3 did theirs this week and got him to an 89.
Yeah, he currently, according to On3, the fifth best player in the state of Oklahoma. So that is something to keep an eye on the movement that might take place there. And you laid out kind of what it might look like for him on the field and how that looks like. Timeline wise, he gets to K-State. How quickly could we see DJ Ackerson playing for K-State?
Probably a red shirt his first year because he's still a little bit on the smaller side. I think that he is closer to 6'2" now than 6 foot. But probably needs a little bit more time in the weight room. You might see him play like a little bit of special teams as a true freshman, and then kind of like what we've said with LaMarcus Barber, it's not like a crazy thing to say he could at least push for a little bit of playing time as a redshirt freshman. Like, when you cut the roster down to 105, like we think is going to happen, but nobody will ever say if it's going to happen, which puts teams and coaches in the worst possible spot right now. But because of that, like guys that are redshirt freshmen or even true freshmen, like you got to be ready to come in and at least bust your butt and play special teams, because there aren't as many spots that you can throw in a guy that isn't necessarily probably ready to see like the bright lights on defense or offense, but like they could be ready to play special teams right now. So that would probably be what his role looks like. And if he really wants to play as a true freshman, that's probably what I would say to him as like, if you want to play and not redshirt, you probably want to play special teams. Because I mean, Zayshawn Rich did that last year. Jacob Parrish did that as a true freshman. Like, if you are willing to play special teams, K-State will let you play special teams as a true freshman and not redshirt.
Yeah. And a lot of those guys that you mentioned, it set them up for really good careers after that too. So it'll be interesting to watch. But DJ Ackerson becomes the third member of K-State's recruiting class in the class of 2026. So starting to add more to it. I think you've been of the idea, Drew, that this is probably it for a while, at least until late May into June, probably even later than that, I guess.
Yeah, I would say there might be another one before official visits start, but I wouldn't put like a lot of money on it. I would say that once official visits start, you'll probably see the dam really fully break. Just as an aside, and just us recording this and doing time traveling, I'm fascinated to see if this ends up being in our Christmas special or if this ends up actually being posted, but we'll see.
It's true.
Because timelines of recruitments, I've said 100 times on this show, probably more, are the trickiest part of finding out of this entire process. Sometimes it's a lot easier to find out where they're committing than when.
Very true. And as you mentioned a couple weeks ago, we probably had like 4 or 5 different link and cure commitment videos before we actually needed to use one. So we'll keep an eye on this, but I think you'll be hearing this soon after we get done recording it. All right, final piece of business today. Reminder for everybody that wants to head over to Ireland for the Aer Lingus College Football Classic. Go to cats2ireland.com. Be there. Less than 4 months to go. As we approach the kickoff of Farmageddon in week 0, first game of the college football slate. Unfortunately for DJ Ackerson, he's coming a year late and will not get to experience the trip to Ireland. I think that was one of the more fun parts about the 2025 recruiting class, and like some of the 24 guys, is you discussing certain things with them and then being like, are you aware that like K-State's going to play in Ireland in 2025? And some of them were aware, others were not, and then kind of excited about that. So it'll be fascinating to see the reactions of all the cats that are over there. And if you want to just see them up close and personal, you can do that by going to cats2ireland.com and take care of every step of your trip that you need taken care of if you can't handle it yourself. Me, I could not handle it myself. Fortunately, I have a Derek Young that's handling most of that. Although he keeps asking for information about me and I keep failing to give it to him in a timely manner. So I probably still need to give him some of my passport info in the coming minutes and days, unless he's trying to steal my identity. But I don't know. Can you steal an identity from a passport, Drew?
I think so.
Okay. Well,
like,
I might have to vet if the questions he's asking me are legit.
I'm trying to think of what's on a passport. Maybe. Your Ireland fun fact for today.
Let's see.
It is a golf fun fact, so you'll enjoy this one.
Yep.
So it is the Irish PGA Championship. It is a tournament in Ireland, and it's one of the oldest golf tournaments in the world. It's obviously the oldest in Ireland. It's been played at a lot of different golf courses in Ireland. It was established though in 1907.
How about that? A lot of good golf in Ireland and
Northern Ireland.
Yeah, Northern Ireland. They will be hosting the Open this summer in July, not August. That would have been a heck of a way to time things up. And I'll be honest, I have looked into. I was like, okay, like would I be able to somehow get to Portrush and like try to play Royal Portrush while I'm over there? Because playing major championship sites it's a fun thing to do. I would like to be able to do it. So I was like, could I do it? Like, is that, I don't know that it's going to necessarily be possible. It would take a lot of commitment to do that. And also I have no idea what our schedule is going to look like when we get over there. So it's like, how much work am I actually going to have to do before the game? Or, am I going to be able to explore enough to where I leave at like 4 a.m. one morning and I, go into Northern Ireland? I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. I do want to play golf at least one time over there. So if there are any Cat fans that are going to be in the area of Dublin, anytime after that Thursday, and you say, hey, we got a tee time, we got an open spot, let me know. I might be down to play with you. If you want a loudmouth from KSO joining your group, we'll see. I would like to play at least one time, but I'm going to just pony up the money for a rental set over there because I'm not dealing with bringing my clubs just to play maybe one time. So
I'm going to say that club rentals in Ireland probably aren't that expensive.
It depends on the course. Some of these courses, they know what they're doing and they're going to run your butt up. Like I've talked to buddies that have gone on honeymoons and sorry to DJ Ackerson and his family. If you're watching this, you're like, why are you not talking about my son anymore? That's just what we do here at KSO. I've talked to guys that have gone to certain like resorts and they get down there and they want to play golf and they're like, yeah, we played, but they charged us crazy money for the rental set. So I don't know. Yeah, just depends. But it might be worth it over there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That'll do it for us today. Probably do it for you folks hearing from me for a little bit, unless, this recruitment didn't go the way we thought and you either never hear this or it just took a couple extra days and I'm already back to just doing normal stuff. So we'll get out of here. For Drew Galloway, I'm Mason Voth. Go to KStateOnline.com if you want more on the DJ Ackerson commitment and everything else going on with K-State recruiting.